Okay, very good evening, one and all. I hope so. My screen is visible and I am audible. Am I audible and my screen is visible to all? Please respond in chat box. Am I audible and my screen is visible to all? Okay, very good evening, one and all. Today is day 21 and we are about to start with our next chapter. Okay, the next chapter is of tuples. Let's start. Okay, actually, we have learned about other data types in our previous sessions. That is, we started with basically what is a number that is with a decimal point and what is a floating number, and then we are going to learn more about the tuples. Okay, tuples means it is about the introduction. Now everything is enclosing in quotation marks, that is called a string. So let us check first what are the data types we have learned today. Okay, basics from the beginning. So what are the data types we have studied so far since beginning? Let us have a glance. Okay. So very first data type we have learned is number. Okay. Example, number is equal to something. Next one we have seen about the numbers with a decimal point. That is 44 point some numbers. Okay. Then we have learned about the names. That is with the quotation marks. Example, jackfruit. Then we have learned about the list. List means it is with the square brackets. And today we are going to learn more about tuple. Please note it out. It is tuple, not tuple. Okay, tuple. It is rhyming with the couple. Like how you say couple, likewise you should say tuple. Okay, you should pronounce like it. Tup, tuple. Okay, tuple. It's tuple. Okay, not tuple. Tuple. So it's tuple. What is tuple? Tuple means it is enclosing in parenthesis. Parenthesis means round bracket. This is what we call it as tuple. Okay, so let me tell you the data types once again. The very first one is called integer. The second one is called float. The third one is called string. And next one we have studied about list. And next one we are going to learn more about tuple. So tuple means it is used to mention in the parenthesis. Parenthesis means round brackets. Okay, we should say like tuple. Let me print the data type, you will understand. Print my tuple. You can see the output. See tuple, tuple. Tuple. Tuple means it is used to represent the data in parenthesis. So far we have learnt this much. And moving on, let us move on to the next topic. So next topic is, oh, it is not in order. Okay, let us make an order. We have seen this, and next what are we going to see? We are going to see about the introduction. Next, tuple intro. What is tuple? So tuple means that is enclosing in parenthesis. Parenthesis means round bracket. Round bracket means it will be mentioned with the 1 minute. Okay, sorry for the delay. Moving on. We have learned about the tuple. So what is tuple? Tuple means it is, yeah, tuple means it is enclosing in a round parenthesis. That is round bracket. Okay, I'll show you here. A equals 1, 2, and 3. See, this is a tuple. Okay, how do we know the tuple? With the help of type A. So this gives a tuple. So tuple is a different data type. As it is a different data type, you cannot use string method. We know what is alpha, like A dot is alpha. Yes, Prem Kumar.
మరి 2 పోర్ట్లు ఉన్నాయి. దేంట్లో ఇది? ఇదే కింద ఇది. ఎంత కొట్టాడు?
Okay, so we know that very well. A is a string. If I use is alpha, that will give true or false. But what happened? A is a sorry. Let us create next one. T is a tuple. T is a tuple. Okay. Now when I try to do T dot is alpha, then you see it shows error. Why it shows error? Because T is a tuple. Prem Kumar, would you like to ask something? Okay, so T is a tuple. So tuple cannot use the string methods. Not only this method, string methods are applicable only to the strings. Okay, so when I do something, this will create error. Why it creates error? Because it is a string method. It gives attribute error. What is the attribute error? It is not possible to applicable in the tuple. That is why it shows error. And next, we have learnt about the list. Okay, example L equal to square bracket of 9, 10. Just example. Now, when I try to do L dot append 200, now 200 is added to the list. 200 is added to the end of the list because append is method of a list, so that is applicable. Now when I try the same with a tuple, what is T? T is a tuple. Now when I try to do T dot append 200, now this shows once again error. Why it shows error? Because tuple object has no attribute append. So when you are going for any interview, you must be very clear what are the methods applicable for each data type. Suppose when you're going for string, certain data types are applicable. When you're going for tuple, certain data types are applicable only for the strings. So you cannot compare each other. Next, so what we have learned now, if it is tuple, only tuple methods are applicable. Whatever we have with the string is not possible. Whatever we have for the list is also not possible, because tuple is a separate data type. Okay, please note it down. Now let's see what is mean by updation in programming language. Okay, let's see what is updation in programming language. So let us take an example. We have learned already mutable and immutable things. So what is mutable? What is mutable data type? Yeah, answer the question please. What is mean by mutable? What is mean by mutable? I'll give you 1 minute time. By 7:26 we'll discuss the answer. Okay. Um, okay, I got answers. Mutable means changeable. Yeah, most of you have said the correct answer. Mutable means changeable. Okay, so what we have to understand here is mutable means changeable. So we have, so mutable means changeable. Okay, so what we have here string. Already we have seen this example, even though I'll show you once again. Here I have a string example. S is equal to musk melon. Okay, just for example, I have musk melon. Now I would like to change the first character of a string. So what I do is square bracket of 0 is equal to something. I'm giving some other value. So now what it says, string object does not support item assignment. So string object cannot assign a new value in between. So it is not possible. That is why strings are immutable. Would you like to say something?
వా అన్నం తింటూ పప్పు చారు వేసుకొని.
Okay, so it is not possible to change. Okay, so would you like to say something? Okay, so strings are not mutable. Okay, note it down. Moving on. Same way, same way, tuples. So tuples are also immutable. So what is meant by immutable? Immutable means it cannot be changed once it is created. So once you create something, tuples will not change. Say like an example, let us have string. We have seen string here. Okay, let us have tuple. Once again we have tuple T123. I'm trying to change T of 0 is equal to some value. What happened? Tuple object does not support item assignment, so it gives type error. This gives type error. Why it gives type error? Because tuple and string does not support item assignment. Item assignment means it will not support the new value to be changed once it is created. It is not possible in tuple and string. Suppose if it is list, okay, let us have a list here. Okay, a list is enclosing with a square bracket. Now what I do, L square bracket of 0 is equal to some value. Now what happened? That is possible. List is possible to change. That is why list is called mutable. Yes, John, would you like to say something? Okay, so list is only mutable. Mutable means changeable. All other data types we see so far is immutable. Only one data type, that is list, is mutable. Tuple is immutable. Participants, it's a kind request. If you want to share something, please raise your hand. Please don't simply raise your hand. I'm switching screens often. It's a kind request from my side. Please don't raise your hands in between without any purpose. If you really want to ask something, please use that option. Okay, so this is what we have learned about the updation. Next, how to update the tuple. Suppose there is a scenario. I have created a tuple and I would like to make modifications. Okay, so there is a scenario that I would like to create a tuple, but what happened? I have to update the value. So technically in Python, it is not possible. We have seen the example which is on your screen, right hand side. It is not possible to create a tuple. Suppose if you have created a tuple, then it is not possible to change the value after it is created. Okay, now what happened? I have a tuple that is 4 5 6 7. Okay, previously what I have done, I tried to change the value of this one with the 44. Previously I have tried in this way. What happened? It did not work well. It did not work well and it creates error. Tuple does not support item assignment. It was failed. So what is the solution? This solution here is data type conversion. What we can do? Data type conversion. I'll tell you how to do it. Listen carefully the progress. I'm first checking a tuple 4, 5, 6 and 7, and then what I do, I convert into the list. So how do I convert? List of t, L equal to list of t. So now what happened? It is converted into the list. Okay, it is converted into the list now. Okay, after converting into the list, what I'm about to do, I'm about to modify the data. Listen carefully, I'm about to modify the data. How I modify the data? That is L of 0. L of 0 is equal to 100. Now what happened? L of 0 value is updated. So modification is done. After modifying data, okay, what I have in the list. So what I use earlier, I use t. So t is equal to tuple of L. Now what happened? Once again, the data is converted back into tuple. So this is the procedure to update the tuple elements in Python. So you cannot do it directly. You can do indirectly. How can I do indirectly? First, you will take tuple. Okay, here it is a tuple, and that tuple element cannot be processed easily. So what you do? First, you take a tuple, and then you will convert the tuple into the list. Okay, now what happened? The tuple is changed into the list, and then whatever the data you want to modify, you will modify. After modification of the data, what you do the same the conversion of the list into the tuple. So what happened? We started with the tuple, okay, and we ended with the tuple. In between, we got some changes. This is how you do typecasting in Python. This is how you do typecasting in Python. Have you understood? Very simple. I guess you can see here. So first step, here it is a tuple. We have tuple here, and what is the next step? I'm converting the tuple into the list. Okay, you can see the diagram here. If you are not clear, you can see the diagram here. Second step, I convert this tuple into the list. That is in line number 5. After converting that list is possible with modification of data. So what we can do? We can modify the data. That is like line number 6. After modification of data, I'm converting back into the tuple. At once the tuple is created, now we have the old data with updated format. It's a simple step. Even if you are not clear with this, you can make modifications like this in 4 lines. This is the starting value. See, this is the starting, which is the tuple. Initial tuple is with the value 4, 5, 6, 7. Here in line number 4. 4, 5, 6, 7, which is line number 4 with the tuple. Now what I did? I modify into the list. So here is the step. So how to update the tuple? First step, tuple is created. After tuple is created, it is converted into a list. After converted into the list, I think I can see the process. First tuple is created and then tuple is converted into the list. After converting into the list, the value is updated. Whichever the value you want to modify, you can modify. Any value. If you want to edit the last value, the last value is updated. After updating the last value, then once again it is converted back to tuple. List is converted back to tuple. Now we got the tuple values updated indirectly in Python. Why are we doing these many steps? Because tuples are immutable in Python. So tuples are not possible to update because it is immutable in nature. Please note it down. Okay, moving on. There is a next method. Suppose if you have felt that that method is very much complicated and you do not understand easily, there is another method that is called unpacking of tuples. So very first thing, how to unpack the tuple. So how to unpack the tuple we can do in this way. That is, let's create a tuple first. That is, my tuple is equal to 1, 2 and whatever the value. You can give any value. Okay, no problem. And then what I do, I take 3 different variables. Okay, listen carefully. I take tuple and then I take 3 different variables. Listen carefully. I have a tuple. The tuple contains 3 values, that is 1, 2 and 3. Okay. Now what I do, I unpack the tuple with the 3 new variables. So now what happened? This 1 is linked with A, 2 is linked with B and 3 is linked with C. Okay. This is linked with C. Okay, now I unpacked. Unpacked means changed into the variables. Then what I did? Now C is linked with the 3. That is C is equal to 3. After C is assigned to 3, I am changing into 1000. So now what happened? This value of 3 is changed to 1000. After doing that, what I am doing? I am unpacking once again. How I am unpacking? This A value goes here, this B value goes here, and this C value goes here instead of the old one. This C value goes here. So now what happened? The new tuple is created with 1, 2 and 1000. This is called tuple unpacking. So tuple unpacking is very simple. The first value is assigned to the first variable, the second value is assigned to second variable, and third value is assigned to third variable. If you want, I can demonstrate here. So let us create a tuple. Values is equal to tuple of 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 values are there. Now I'm going to create 4 different variables, that is G, H, I, J. Just for example, from the values. Now G has 1, H has 2, I has 3, J has 4. Okay, now what I do? I change the value of I. I equals 34. G equals 22. Now what I do? Once again, I unpack the tuples. How do I unpack? Values is equal to G, H, I, J. Okay. Now if I print values, now the original value is totally updated. This is called tuple unpacking. You can see as an example here. So this is called a tuple unpacking. Tuple unpacking is super easy. But what is the problem? It has the biggest problem. Suppose if I have 1000 values. Suppose if I have 1000 values. See here it is only 4 value. Here it is only 3 value. See 1, 2, 3. Only 3 values are there. Then it is not a problem. it is super easy to write it down. Suppose if it is 1000 values, then it is not possible to use the unpacking method. So unpacking is used only where the variables are very less. That is what I have mentioned here. It is possible only if you have very less number of elements. If you have more number of elements, tuple unpacking is completely impossible. Why it is impossible? I'll tell you that also. Why it is impossible? I'll say that also. See, I have three elements here. I have three elements here. Okay. Um, 1 minute. Okay, no messages. So I have three elements here. That is 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Now what I did, I used only two variables. Okay, listen carefully. I used only two variables. That is a comma b. I did not unpack three. Okay, I did not unpack three. Now if I run, you see here, it is error. What is error? Too many values to unpack. Actually, we have to get three values, but we have given only two variable names. So that is error. It is not possible to unpack less number of values when compared to the variables present over there. You should give equal number of variable values and equal number of values present inside the tuple. Please note it down. So this is what we call it as tuple updation. So tuple updation is super easy topic. We have to focus on certain things. That is, tuple cannot be updated directly. So instead of updating it directly, we should go with tuple conversion, that is typecasting. First, you need to understand what kind of data type is tuple. So tuple is immutable data type. Immutable data type means it cannot be changed. Say like an example, string, which is on your screen. So screen, you can see that string, which is, this is sample. Now I'm trying to change the first character, that is T. If I try to change the first character, it shows type error. Why it shows type error? Because string object does not support item assignment. So strings are not possible to update because it is immutable. Same way tuple. So tuple means it is enclosing with the parenthesis, and if I try to change the first character, tuples also giving error. Why it gives error? Because it is also does not support item assignment. Moving on, when you try the same thing with the list, it is possible because list is mutable. Mutable means changeable. List values can be updated easily because list is changeable. Okay, and moving on, how to update the tuple? In case if you have a task to update a tuple, you cannot do it directly. You can do it only with indirect method. So that indirect method is applied with the help of type conversion or type casting. So first you have to take a tuple and then the tuple is converted into the list like this, and then the list value can be updated as we have seen earlier classes. And then what you have in the list is converted back into tuple. Then you got the original tuple. You got the original value tuple which has the modified values here. This is how you can update the tuple values in Python. Suppose if you feel this method is very difficult, then we can go with the most uncommon method, that is unpacking of tuples. Obviously, when you are going for an interview, they may ask any kind of question, so you must be very prepared about all the possibilities of providing the answers. The second way is that unpacking of tuples. This is only applicable when there are less number of elements. If you have 3-4 elements, then this is absolutely good method. If you have more number of elements, obviously the first method is preferred. So how you can do this? You do it like my tuple is equal to tuple of 1, 2 and 3. Okay, say like an example. Then whatever the values you have, like right hand side, like first value, second value and third value, you should use that many variables. Suppose if you have 4 values like this, then you should use one more variable additionally. Okay, then you should create into the tuple that many values. If you print it, then you will get that respective value together. Suppose if you want to change the two elements, then it is possible. Let me change d value and a value. Now the new tuple is with modified two values. If you want to change three values, that is also applicable. See here, I can take it out and change the values individually. This is how the tuple unpacking works. And there is a problem in unpacking, as we know already. Suppose if you have less number of elements, this is applicable and appreciable. In case if you feel this method you're going to apply, then you must use that many variables to unpack. Suppose when you use less number of variables, then obviously it raises a value error. Value error means it has three values to unpack, but you have used only two variables. So that will raise an error, value error. So this is the error. I hope so. You have understood what is mean by tuple and what you can understand with the immutable property of a tuple and what is the procedure to update a tuple. We have seen two procedures. The first one is direct method. The second one is unpacking method. I mean direct method means first one is typecasting and the second one is unpacking method. Two methods we have seen. And then next we have seen the difference between mutable and immutable data types. So mutable means changeable like this. Immutable means it cannot be changed or modified. And then moving on, we have seen the problems that can be occurred in the list unpacking. In list unpacking, the only one problem is if you provide the list number of variables, then it raises the value error. When you try to modify the tuple elements, that gives the type error. That's all the topics that we have covered so far. Tomorrow we will cover the next topics. How do we process the tuple and what can we do with the tuple, etc. And that's all for today's class. I hope so you have understood the basic concepts. Let me have a question. Let us finish the session. I have a question for you all. My question is easy question. How do you identify the tuple? Please answer in chat box. How do you identify the tuple? If you answer this, you are perfect so far. Come on, I'm expecting answers. How do you identify tuples? That is my question. Only 3 members have answered so far. Out of 60, only 3 members. Just 3 members. It's not even 1%. My question is super simple. How do you identify the tuples? 3, 4, 5 members have answered correctly. 6 members have answered, but 5 members have answered correctly. 5, 6 members, 7 members have answered correctly. Only 8 members have answered. Yeah, correct answer by the all persons. Correct. Okay, 9, 10 persons have answered. Come on, simple question. How do you identify the tuple? Simple question. Okay, I'm getting correct answers. How do you identify? Identify means by looking. By looking what you identify it is a tuple. By what? Come on, I'm expecting answers from every one of you. It's a simple topic, easy topic. How do you identify tuples? Come on, everyone. See, whatever you are sending in chat box, I'm asking questions, it carries marks. Don't think that it's just for a question, it is an evaluation, assessment, quick assessment. How do you identify? That is my question. How? By what? By what you can identify it is a tuple? I'll give you 1 minute. I'm not asking example. I'm not asking how do you check. My question is how do you identify? Identify. I said a special name. Okay, let me check how many answers I have got. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 members, 19 members. So 19 members have answered correctly. A few members have attempted once again, but it's okay. Let me tell the answer. Tuples are enclosing with the parenthesis. Okay, parenthesis. That is the exact answer. Round brackets also correct answer. Parenthesis, round brackets are the correct answers. Yeah, few members have answered very exactly incorrectly. Comma separated values with the different data types enclosing together and packing together, representing together. All are the correct answers. Tuple means parenthesis. Immutable is a property. Okay, immutable is a property. Tuples are enclosing with a parenthesis, that is round brackets. Yeah, well said answers. And tomorrow let's work out with some examples in tuple. And I hope so you are submitting your assignments. Please submit on the time. Somebody asked about the extension of that assignments. That is not possible. So kindly submit on the time. Thank you so much, participants. Thank you so much for joining. Have a nice day to you all. Have a nice sleep. You may all leave now. Have a good day to you all. Good night. Let's see tomorrow. The recordings will be uploaded in the drive. Don't worry about it.